Hello, beautiful people. It's Bonnie Gillespie coming at you live on the Facebook. And of course, if you're watching the replay at YouTube, you can come on over to my Facebook page where comments remain open. And I never open them at YouTube because who can be bothered to go to all of the places with all the searches and all the comments and all the connections and all the engagement. Hello, beautiful people. Let me know you're here. Greg, hello. And hello, Stephanie. Oh, but you know what? I'm wondering because, hey, Ray, good to see you. Yes. Okay, good. I was like, I'm wondering if I'm seeing comments from when this was scheduled or now that it's live. And we are now absolutely getting comments that it's live. Hello, Heather. I hope you got my email about expansive capacity. Good to see you. Hello, Melissa. How are you? Awesome. Good to see everybody loading in on the freebie. It is so much fun to do a Facebook Live out in the world. Yes, I love doing this. Hello, Brooke. Good to see you. Hi, Becky. So happy to see you and welcome you into the dojo today. Arnold, hi, how are you? Oh, it's David Piggott, my favorite David Piggott. I love David Piggott so much. Good. Okay, great, Heather. Awesome. Just wanted to be sure that you received it. So we are going to talk today about money, honey. We don't talk about money, honey. So specifically, if you're not already receiving bond blasts, I will ask you to go over to, not right now, but when we're done having this little talk, go over to bonniegillespie.com and take a look at 2 recent blog posts, because when I've got a good bond blast that I send out via email that I think like, oh, this one actually needs to be a keeper and not just a disposable email, I cross-post it over at my blog. So that's great. You can get caught up even if you're not receiving regular emails. Awesome, right? So if you go over to bonniegillespie.com, there's 2 recent posts. One is called, What's Your Problem? And then the other one is called, Money is Not Your Problem. But because so many people in the blog post / bond blast for What's Your Problem said money would make things so much easier in terms of pursuing a creative career and actually help them make it, I went, I gotta address the money thing, because everybody who answered money would solve all my problems. I gotta have a little frank talk with you about how that doesn't tend to be the truth. And I know if you're in a place where you're like, I would love to find out. I would love to find out that money doesn't help me solve my problems by having bajillion dollars to help me know for sure that money doesn't help me solve my problems. Believe me, I get it. But I wanted to have a conversation about financing a creative career and really talking about what it is that we can do to work our money mindset in some good directions. And of course, also how much money you actually need if you are pursuing a creative career. Because like any business you're running, which you are running a business when you decide to become an actor professionally, you do have to invest in your tools. You do have to have what tools are required to show the buyers that you exist. You have to do some amount of marketing. It's just like running any other business. And so there is a bare minimum that's required, but that bare minimum is a lot lower than a lot of people who complain about money seem to think it is. I've seen people make it on seriously a couple bucks, and I've seen people with all the money in the world still struggle and not make it. And so I know that having money alone does not solve all the problems. Hey, Latrice, I'm glad you're here. Thank you guys for saying hello. Thank you for sharing this broadcast. I appreciate you for pushing it out into your Facebook world so others can see it. One of the things that happens with this new broadcast setup that I'm using a third-party app, and that can sometimes not get up on the feed in Facebook because it's not Facebook native. So we're dialing it in. We're figuring out like exactly what we want to be using in terms of the broadcast. And for now, I'm trying a new system that I think looks pretty good, sounds pretty good. The comments don't seem to be lagging, but maybe they are, and I just don't know it. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this. I'm going to take a little sip of water, and then we're going to get into the money thing. As I am having this broadcast happen, I am right here assisted by my awesome Fortuna statue. Check out this lovely lady. Ain't she pretty? Isn't that amazing? So pretty. No lag. Good. Glad. Awesome. Hi, Alyssa. Glad you're here. This is Fortuna. I got this statue off Amazon. So it's not horribly expensive. and she's just so gorgeous. I have over here, so not where I'm putting her. I brought her over here so that I could bring her on camera. I have a fame altar in the fame center using feng shui of this room, my office, and I have there all the things that I want to energize in that fame center. And the fame center is also the money center. It's a wonderful place if you are at all into the woo to set up a little place for honoring that you want to be in receiving mode for money and prosperity and abundance, all of which are awesome things. And so I have over there a few of my crystals, especially the ones that are great at energizing money. I also have posted up right above my fame altar a photo of one of my clients holding his first Emmy. And it's a photo that he then wrote, "Thank you, Bonnie," on it. And so it's posted up that it's like a connection between us, helping him get that career goal met, and then a few other little pieces that I want to energize from that fame center. And I do a few rituals where money is concerned that I think are worth noting, just because I know I struggled specifically with a story that was, I don't know where it got planted or when it got planted. Actually, I do. I know where it got planted in my mom. I don't know how it became my story. And what's true for a lot of people when it comes to money is they're running family stories, ancestral truths, rather than what's actually true for our experiences. And so that was something that was definitely happening for me. And I was a kid when my parents split up, and we went from living a very normal middle class life, bills paid. And I mean, sure, there was also debt, but there wasn't like massive struggle to suddenly it's just my mom and me living on $8,000 a year. And so we were very quickly thrust into a very different financial situation. And it meant a lot of change and a lot of upheaval, and my life completely got turned upside down, not just from, my dad no longer being there, but suddenly, going from private school with everything I need taken care of to having to go mid-year to public school and being on government supported lunch and having to stand in a special part of the line that indicated, hey, you're here on the government's dime to get to eat, and then everybody else got to be in a separate part of the line, and all these just horrible things that they do from a social perspective to shine a spotlight on, you're the ones who don't have enough over here. And that created a story in my mom's brain that then became a story in my brain that we will have everything we need and all our money is flowing and all our needs are met, and then it can be taken away like that. And so what I noticed as an earner, and I was going to say as an adult, but I started earning money very young because I was a kid actor. And so I started earning money for the family very young for my acting career, and then got my first real teenage job when I was 15, working as a cashier at Drug Emporium. And then I became head cashier within like a couple of months because, hello, I'm a leader. And so any job I got, like every random nonsense job I got promoted like that. And it used to bug me because I was like, I don't want to be a career cashier. I don't want to be a career bartender. I don't want to be a career tutor. And I would always get promoted to like the highest place you could possibly go in any job I got very quickly. And of course, the pattern in that is, oh, right, leader, not best at this job. Like, it doesn't mean I'm supposed to sit in that job. But that was a mindset shift that took a few years into my adulthood to really make sense to me. One of the things that I started noticing was I attract money very easily. I make money very quickly. I make money very well. Great. So then my story was, and I will always have expenses follow that drain it. I will reach a new financial goal, and then immediately the bottom will fall out. There will be an emergency. The car will die. Like there will always be expenses that come up and take over any kind of financial uptick that I have. By the way, I just noticed a comment from Gio that said, stop showing off, girl. I'm going to actually take a moment and speak to that. This is why people don't find it easy to talk about money, because I'm just listing off the true facts of what it is to be me and experiences I've had in my life. And someone I don't even know is coming at me and telling me to stop showing off and degrading me with the stop showing off girl. Because we ain't friends. I don't know you. You don't get to girl me. So I just want to make note of the fact that this is exactly why conversations about money become complicated and sticky, and therefore this kind of work stays hidden in the shadows, and it's something that blocks creatives every day. I have multi-award winning clients who still stress out about their financial situation. I have people in my world that I work with regularly who are doing so well on so many levels, and then they get undercut by some sort of upper limit problem because we can't speak about these kinds of things without some rando coming at us and degrading us for doing so. Yeah, Heather, I mean, I had to call it out because it just was too weird. It's like we're doing something that's complicated. We're talking about something that can be confronting to a lot of people, and then to be degraded about it, it's like, really? Go get another hobby, dude. But because of that, it is exactly why having these conversations is so vitally important. So I'm glad that happened for the teaching moment that it is. So back to the story that became in my life. I noticed there was this pattern repeating itself of if I set a new goal financially, I could reach it like that. Like, I attract money super easily. And then immediately all the expenses would come out of the woodwork to eat up all that extra money that came in. So there was never this getting ahead. There was never this feeling safe. And I realized I've got some work to do, and that work involves setting up that fame altar, creating a safe place for me to feel like I can honor and attract money coming in. It also includes for me things like every single time I see a penny on the ground, I stop and pick it up. Well, I say every single time I see a penny on the ground, I pick it up, but it's not true, because I noticed in Manhattan, I won't stop and pick up the coins that I see on the ground, because like it's Manhattan and there's like all the people, and I would get trampled if I stopped what I was doing and like reached down to get the penny. But here in LA, at least, and other places that I've gone in the world, yes, where I feel like I could safely stop and pick up the coin, I'll do that. And what I say every time I pick up that coin from the ground is, thank you, universe, for reminding me that there is abundance everywhere. It's not, oh, I pick up the coin because like, ooh, I need that penny. Oh, it's good luck. Those things sure are fun too, but it's because I want to thank the universe for the abundance it's showing me exists everywhere. And similarly, I notice when there's someone who charges more than I feel they should charge, I used to go, who she thinks she is charging all that money? And I had to rewrite that, because I realized I had a piece of dialogue going off in my brain telling me, you're going to be talked about similarly if you charge more. So don't charge more. Stay small. And wow, what a shitty dialogue to have going on, right? So I was like, if I ever want to be in a place where I celebrate what I'm charging, I also have to celebrate people who've got no money shit. And honestly, the first person that I dealt with in our industry who role modeled for me not having money shit was Leslie Kahn. She is an incredibly popular and very well-known acting coach, and has a studio here in LA and has many teachers who work under her. Leslie is brilliant and amazing and has no hang-ups about money. And I remember the first time we were on the phone having this conversation. We had not met in person yet. This is like a decade ago. We're having a conversation, and there's some moment that she said something that I won't disclose because it's nobody's business. But when she said it, I remember just this overwhelming feeling of, that's what it's like to be a woman with no money shit. Specifically, to be a woman in show business with no money shit. And I went, I can relate with that. I can look at that as a role model, that there is a future version of me possible who is a woman in showbiz with no money shit. Ooh, and I bet the mindset has to come before the money. That's the thing. The mindset has to come before the money. And so I went about doing things like, instead of worrying and stressing about what are we going to do when the bottom falls out every time we started making any kind of money, I would start saying, I'm so grateful that attracting money is easy for me, because this means that no matter what comes up in life, we'll be able to handle it. That doesn't mean that I have to create a situation where every time money comes in, the bottom has to fall out in order to prove that. And I started sort of self-coaching this new reality of, I can hold money. Not just I can attract money, but I can hold money. And this is where my partnership with Keith, my husband and partner in the business, really started to pay off for us, because his story was, there's never enough. There's never enough. So my story was, I easily attract money. It's just all going to get taken away. His story was, there's never enough, there's never enough, there's never enough. And so at one point we actually had the conversation, what is the dollar amount that you need? Keith Johnson, what is the dollar amount that you need in order to feel safe? Since I know I can attract money easily, let's find out, what is that dollar amount that you need? And he said $10,000 across whatever number of different bank accounts consistently for whatever number of months. He needed to feel that there was this floor over several bank accounts over several months of 10 grand. And that if this amount existed for that length of time in that many different places, he could exhale. And I went, challenge accepted. Because I don't fear getting that bank account lower, 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 because I know I can attract money easily. And so since my story was never about fear of, like, what do we do if we have no money? I'm like, I know we're always taken care of. It's a question of, how do I want that to actually play out? For him, it was, I'm not safe until. And I said, great, then let's create that safety and then see what we can build from there. And by getting us to that point, which only took a couple of months to do, it allowed him to then relax in a kind of way that turbocharged our ability to really clean up our money stuff, because he then started feeling safe. And so that's what I'm going to ask you to do in today's free training is, would you please consider, and write it down, please consider what dollar amount would make you feel safe. And I know it's super easy to go, $1 bajillion. I know that. Can you come up with what the actual dollar amount is that needs to be, and you can type it in the comments too if you want to share, what dollar amount will make you feel like you can exhale in a different kind of way? And I'm not talking ponies for everyone money and I can leave my job and I live on a private island. I mean, all that stuff's cool too. But I mean, what is the dollar amount that makes you feel like I'm okay? I have a different level of relationship with my life if I have that dollar amount. 20 grand for Arnold. I love your smiley face after it. That's good. That's good. Like, charge that number up with like a good feeling thing. Heather, it depends. If it's an annual income that would make you feel safe, then that's what the number that you need to come up with. For Keith, it was, I need 10 grand in this bank account, that bank account, that, like, there were several different bank accounts that we have, because obviously we run a business and then we also have our personal accounts, that he needed to feel like no matter where we reached, there was going to be that floor. 10K in savings at all times, says Becky. Okay, so similar. Yeah, John, it is a challenging question because this is what really gets down to it. If the number is the thing that's going to make you feel safe, then your whole work needs to be about getting to that number. Because then feeling safe gives you so much more room to be in receiving mode for everything wonderful that the industry and this life is trying to bring you. Latrice says at least 5K in savings, not annual. It's in addition to annual. Yes, keep everything else flowing the way it is, but that 5 grand safety net, I like that one because that's like what, a couple months rent. It's like you're covered. Like if shit goes sideways, you're covered for your bills for a little bit. Like that's kind of the idea behind what is that number that makes you breathe differently. 10K in savings and student loans paid off. Samantha, let me give you a different mindset on the student loans that may help. Stephanie says 500 for a half year and 1,500 coming in monthly. I like that. I love that specificity. Samantha, here's what I did with my student loans, which are definitely there and an issue and can be problematic or terrifying if I want to let them be. So I try not to let them be. I actually see every time that I am writing a check, and I do still write checks to credit cards or loans or student loans. Like we have a loan for one of the last book printings that we did for self-management for actors. Every time I write that actual check, I feel as though I am writing a thank you note to an early investor in my startup. I don't know why we don't leverage debt more and with less guilt and less stress as artists. There's some kind of weird thing in an artist brain that says debt is horrible. And I would love to know whose story that is. Like my family story was debt will kill you. And I'm like, well then I remember being 28, 29 and saying, my goal is to be $100,000 in debt by the time I'm 30. And I didn't quite make it, but that was my goal. I like, seriously, I made that a goal because I was like, this is such a stupid thought. Like this is, and that's me judging the thought that was my family story. So that's not me telling you your thoughts are stupid. Please understand, you get to decide whatever dialogue you want to have with your own self-coaching for your own thoughts and feelings. But for me, I was like, why have I decided that debt is going to kill me? Every major corporation, every entity, our entire fucking government at all times is in massive debt. And it's having capital. It's having something to play with. It's having money on your side of the table at a time when you need it, trusting that you're building a business that's going to be able to pay it back. So if you see your student loan as an investment in your brain that was made by whatever entity loaned you that student loan money, then that was an investment that was made in your brain and in your education by somebody who had more money than you did at the time you went to school. And every time you are paying back a piece of that loan, you are saying thank you and paying dividends to an early investor in your startup. How awesome that there were businesses that had faith in my ability to be an awesome business owner and to be a brilliant brand and be able to make back that money and more. Like they trusted not only would I be able to pay back all the student loans, but all the interest too. How awesome that those early investors believed in me when I was 18 fucking years old. Like, are you kidding me? That there were investors at a time when I was just a teenager, scrapping and trying to figure out what I wanted to be in the world, that trusted that here in my 40s, I would be able to write that check with no fucking problem. Think about that. That is a completely different way of framing student loans or credit card debt or private debt of anything like that. And if you can somehow come to a place of ease over the exchange of money and value for value, it gets you in a better feeling place for attracting the kind of money that you need to feel safe. And once you start feeling safe because you've attracted that, whatever that floor is, but that's the thing, most of us are walking around not having established what the floor is, which is why I challenged you just now to really think about what is that floor? Because if you've never actually answered the question, what would make me feel safe? Then what are you working toward? It's kind of like being an artist having a goal to be what? I want to be a working actor. What does that look like? What does that look like? Yeah, Heather, the fact that you think of money lenders as pirates and sharks means you are always going to have an adversarial relationship with them. I don't agree. I see money lenders as early investors to the business of brand Bonnie Gillespie, and the fact that they had the foresight to invest brilliantly is awesome. But that's a point of view that you and I was going to say we'll never share, but maybe you're working on softening that. Maybe you start by softening that just in terms of the language, because that's an incredibly harsh thing to say about your earliest investors. People who invested in you and gave you money at a time when you had none and needed it. they're not horrible people. They are actually people who allowed you to get through a time when you had that need. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Samantha, being able to see it as people investing in you at a time when that's what you needed. That's all it is. And then writing that check each month is writing a thank you note. Oh my God, you believed in me. You are so smart. And one of the things that I look forward to is the day when I go, what's my current student loan payoff? And like just call the number and find out what it is. And then just go, I'm gonna write you a check. And then just write a check for tens of thousands of dollars because I can. Like, but I'm also like, why would I do that? It's seriously 8% interest. Why would I rush to pay that off? I've got a credit card bill that has much higher interest rate than that. If I'm going to pay anything all the way off, it's going to be that's at a higher interest rate. Student loan debt, 8%. Come on now. Let that ride. Like, and no penalty if I'm on income contingent and they take a look at my annual income and decide, oh, you're paying less now, and I don't get in trouble for doing that because it's measured by my taxes every year. Oh my God, come on. That's a good loan. Right. Why would you? Why would you? Jess says, I've honestly never thought about money this way. I really need to think about the number and shift my perspective. Yeah, Jess, see, the thing is so many people are walking around with negative emotions about money, that they are absolutely showing up to everything with that sense of negativity, and that leads. And so it's like you go into an audition with, I have to book this because if I don't book this, I can't pay my bills. Like Heather right here, she's fighting me in the comments. Girl, fight me all you want. I am not going to change my belief to come join you in a place where there's negativity about something that is a part of how business runs. So your unwillingness to come over to a more positive framework is you basically saying, no, I'm digging in my heels and I want to have an antagonistic relationship with people who are over more power than me when it comes to money. Your choice, girl. 100% your choice, and interesting choice. I like to have a lot less stress when it comes to how I run my business and how I live my life. And part of the story of I have everything I need, money comes to me easily, and now the new one, which is I am no longer going to feel that early childhood story of it can all get taken away at any time, is just so beautiful to see soften. And that's really what I would like to see happen for the artists that I work with. I would love for you to feel that you are more empowered than you may think that you are. Because anytime that you feel less empowered than you really are, you're giving away something that makes it incredibly hard for you to be brought onto a set. You're putting yourself in a place of an energetic lack that is completely optional. So that's part of why this is such an important topic. Jennifer says, recently I was thinking of getting a big mega loan to pay off the others, and then I thought, why? The interest rate I already have on some of these cards is less than the mega loan. Jennifer, perfect. I love that you are willing to look under the hood and say, I'm wanting to consolidate because it feels somehow negative to have all the different lenders versus one big loan. But then when you took a look at the actual math of it, you went, but the interest rate is better spread across all these different places. So for now, let's do that. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Really good. Really good. Yeah, I think that anything we can do to sort of soften where this lives in us, it gives us a better opportunity for success. And it makes it so that when we show up to auditions, there's not this thing we're carrying around of, oh my God, I'm going to be late to my shift at my day job that I had to push back my start time so that I could make it to this audition, and this audition is running late, and it gets into a place of money while we're waiting to go in and audition for something. And it easily gets there because financing a creative career can be so challenging. So let's talk nuts and bolts. Once you have gotten clear on what amount of money would make, let me show you my new, can you see? My new salt lamp. Oh, we got one for here and one for the living room, and I love them so much. I freaking love the Himalayan salt lamp. Just so beautiful, so wonderful on so many levels. Oh my gosh. It's just, the little glow. And it's next to, wait, do I have to go this way for you to see that? Oh, it's blocked by my tissue box. the fountain. So we have all the elements going off in here. I love it so much. All right. How much does it cost? You've got your floor. You've got, Jennifer, they were shockingly low priced. Latrice, you have one just like it? Jennifer, I was shocked. We went on Amazon expecting it to be like $100 and we got 2 for $60. I was like, I thought these were expensive. Oh, so pretty. Hey, Shalimar, glad you could join us. So now that you have that floor, you know what the amount is that would make you breathe differently, that would make you walk around in the world feeling better, feeling less about money. You know what that amount is. Great. Now we're going to get you there. One of the more woo-woo things that I love to do is setting up mantras that help make that happen. If it's things like someone who's got that kind of relationship with money has XYZ, well, what kinds of things? Start with, this is Denise Duffield-Thomas, who actually has a new book coming out. I just got my email that my book will be here tomorrow. So excited. It's called Chillpreneur, and I'm in it, so I'm super excited for lots of reasons. But there's this money mindset work that Denise Duffield-Thomas does, and she calls it incremental upgrades. And I am a big fan of that. Like taking a look around at what is in your life and deciding what would each thing look like if I were living at that level where I know I want to be energetically. And so for us, it was little things like I was using a ratty towel and I went, how do I expect to be a millionaire and walk around thinking that that could happen when I'm using this ratty towel? Like every time I dry off my entire awesome body, it's with a towel that doesn't feel amazing. And how much would it cost for me to have one really amazing feeling towel? $12? Like seriously? Why am I not letting myself have that? And then what starts to happen is you start noticing things that you can upgrade for a lot less money than you think that makes you feel like you are treasured. And when you feel like you are treasured, you walk around with a different level of self-worth and a different level of value, and like attracts like. You find that there are opportunities that just start coming out of the woodwork. You find that there are people who are willing to pay above what you would normally ask for. You find if you're working a tip job, suddenly you're getting higher tips and you don't know why. I've had clients who've done this work and they've actually been able to take down a shift. They're actually able to pull themselves off the schedule 1 shift or 2 shifts because they start making so much more money in their existing shifts because of this new relationship with themselves and their story about their value and how much money is going to be able to enter their world. I find it to be such a beautiful gift to give ourselves, those tiny little incremental upgrades. So there's that. And then there's also one of the exercises from Abraham Hicks that I'm so crazy about. And I remember the first time I heard about this, which would have been 11 years ago. I thought, oh, there's no way. There's no way I can't do this. And it was walk around with $100 bill tucked away in your wallet or put in your pocket, and then just walk around an area that has a lot of shops. And as you're there, think about, I could buy that, I could buy that, I could buy that, I could buy that, and just live in that joy of knowing you've got the money to buy all the things, but you choose not to. And stop saying things like, I can't afford it, and instead say things like, that's not a priority for me to buy right now. That slight change in wording from I can't afford it to that's not a priority for me to invest in right now, night and day. Night and day. It's like when you're on a diet, if it's like, I can't have that, you immediately want to rebel. You immediately get like, flip this table. I'm so mad about how much I want to eat that. And you telling me I can't have that. I'm a grown ass woman. I can have whatever I want. And so instead, if it needs to be, I choose not to have that cake, there's a choice there. There's that empowerment. And again, that just puts you in a much better feeling place with the whole situation. far less likely to rebel against it, far less likely to push up against it in any kind of resistance. This is why that self-talk element is so important, and why when I see it, I'm going to call it out, because I see you using language that I know is making it harder on you than it needs to be. And so part of softening that language is not, I can't afford it. It's, I choose not to invest like that right now. And so take a look at what you choose to invest in. With that $100 in the pocket exercise from Abraham Hicks, I remember 11 years ago, I was like, if I got $100, that's got to go in the bank because I need it. Like, I need every bit of that. But I get it from an energetic perspective. And if at first you're like, I wouldn't be able to do that with $100, great, do it with $1. Seriously, do it with $10. Do it with something. Play the prosperity game. This is in the book. It's in Self-Management for Actors in the Money chapter, 4th edition. I lay out the prosperity game. This is also a part of our 100-day program, Getting Gear for the Next Year. We encourage people to buddy up and do the prosperity game in expansive capacity. Our alumni-only mastermind for March, we're going to be doing manifestation bingo and the prosperity game and so many other things about money mindset. And it's just super important and super valuable to get that shit cleaned up so that you can attract the prosperity that really is trying to head your way. So now let's talk about what it actually costs to run an acting business. I've seen people make it on seriously no money. And let's be clear, when I say seriously no money, yes, of course, you need to be present on actor submission websites with a headshot. So if someone has to take a picture of you, but there are people who make deals with their friends who are photographers. They get shot by a buddy. There are people who do self-portrait type shooting. Like, seriously, the camera in this is, I'm not trying to put headshot photographers out of business by saying this. Obviously, when you can afford it, go to a pro. But this absolutely can get you started and get you in the game. So having that headshot up on a submission website like Actors Access, it's free to be on Actors Access. You just pay per submission. And if you don't want to pay per submission, you pay, I think, an annual fee to then be able to submit unlimited. So yes, there's startup cost in that, but we're still looking at less than $100. And if you're like, well, yeah, but somebody who can afford to do it this way has the advantage over me, then you, my friend, are selling your talent short. If you believe that the only thing that helps someone else book is that they have more money to invest in their tools or their marketing, you are telling your talent you're not enough. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? When money was an issue for me, I said, okay, I got to be more talented. I got to be more present in places where I can be without having to spend money on marketing. This is why we never advertised, because when no money was the situation here, I knew what I could do for free or for the price of the internet that I was paying to access as a part of having my own email and being online, right? Paying for internet access was show up to places where people are having conversations about my area of expertise and answer questions. Have conversations. That became my form of advertising. My content became my form of advertising because I couldn't afford to advertise. Same thing for you as an actor. Create your own content. Go be out in the world on brand. You have to be more clever. You have to be more creative. You have to be more talented. You do not have to have more money to spend. Having more money to spend just means you have to be less resourceful. Honestly, there's something really brilliant about being incredibly resourceful. Think about what you're telling your talent when you tell it alone is not enough. Thank you, Justine. I'm glad you're loving it. I'm glad you're loving it. Yay. Good. Good. Jennifer, I'm sorry you never did the prosperity game. It's a part of the 100 days. Girl, get back in there. Get back in there and buddy up. Go grab somebody in the private Facebook group over at the SMFA Dojo. To buddy up with you. In fact, there is a thread. Do a search, Jennifer, in the Dojo Facebook group. There's a thread for the prosperity game and just bump it back up to the top and see if anybody wants to partner up with you for, you could do it for the entire month of March, or you could do it. You could start right now. You don't have to wait, but we're doing March as a money month, like money March, manifestation March. I don't know. I haven't named it yet, but like, that's going to be all about that. Thank you, Saskia. It's so good to see you. I'm glad you're loving it. Yeah, Lisa, my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm glad this is helping. It's, heavy on the mindset, but really so much of our money blocks are about mindset. Yeah, good. Do it. Oh, good. I was like, I think I'm out of water, but I'm not. I have it. Samantha, you will get an invitation to join the Dojo Facebook group when you cross the 100th day of getting gear for the next year. So on day, technically 101, you're going to get an email that says, congratulations, you graduated. Here's a link. Come join us in the Grads Only Facebook group. And let us know if you want us to send you a bracelet and all that fun stuff. So yeah, this is one of the perks of ongoing membership. Yeah. Okay, Jennifer says, I believe in my talent. My thing is being too tired because of my day job. Okay, so Jennifer, I want you in the vault to hit the money category and make it a daily do. Okay? Daily do. Go through something in the money category at the vault, because Jennifer, you've got access to all of that already. Get in there and do some things that help you clean up your relationship with money and where you can attract more per hour, so that you're able to leave behind any kind of work that is overly taxing to you. Because if you're too exhausted to shoot your own content, if you're too exhausted to network, if you're too exhausted to go out on auditions, if you're too exhausted to be your best self when you do get those opportunities, you're not any good for the world. And we really need to clean that up by making sure that you are being as efficient as possible. Go revisit what we do on day 28 in Getting Gear for the Next Tier, which is the Profit Clarity exercise. And I talk through how I adapted some work that was from Marie Forleo and added to it the element of how much time is it taking me to earn each of these amounts for each thing that is a revenue stream in my life. And what that allowed me to do, and I share the story in our course, of course, what that allowed me to do was, when something got knocked out from under me and I lost a quarter of our annual income, like a quarter of our household annual income was just gone like that, I didn't freak out, because all I had to do was take a look at my profit clarity and see what that meant I needed to step up in order to make up the most difference the quickest. Because with no notice, a quarter of our household income was just suddenly gone, and I didn't freak the fuck out because I went, wait, I've got my profit clarity. My profit clarity is going to show me what my smartest per hour use of time is, and I'm not doing anything but that. Yes, I will continue showing up for those other things because they exist. Like, I couldn't stop masterminding because I have mastermind groups and I show up to hold the mastermind groups. It's not like I abandoned all the other things. It's that I went, oh, hang on, private coaching pays me better than anything else per hour. Great, we're going to run a sale. And so as soon as my legs got knocked out from under me by a quarter of our household income being wiped out with no notice, I put up an email that said, hey, here, we're going to have a sale. We're going to have a sale. I am going to discount coaching, or I think it was like a 2-for-1 coaching, or buy 2, get 1 free, or something. Like, I did some kind of package where I didn't discount the coaching in order to sell it. I incentivized buying more of it. And I sent that out in front of my mailing list and cleared $20,000 that weekend. Like I said, I got no problem attracting money. But my point is, as soon as I realized, oh my God, I'm terrified of where the money is going to come from if I lose anything, I'm like, that backpack that I'm carrying around is not helping me attract money. So how do I put that backpack down? How do I take that off and put that burden away? Yeah, set up my fame altar under all the feng shui. Yes, I stay grateful for every single penny that I see. And I'm so grateful that the universe is constantly reminding me of the abundance that's all around us. I love having role models that show me it can be done. But most importantly, I got into a relationship with my own money story that allowed me to not panic when things went sideways. I went, it's okay. This is why we do the money work. I know where my best money is going to come from. So let me go lean into that, make back some money so that I don't freak out about this ongoing payment coming in anymore. And now having that little nest egg allows me to have some breathing room to get creative with what else I want to figure out. And so, Jennifer, what we've been able to do with some of our clients is help them monetize things that they may have never even thought about monetizing. If you take a look at, like, Lenka is a wonderful example of this. Lenka is one of our top profs in SMFAU. She has been teaching social media to actors for years, and she's been offering advice and helping people for free all over the internet. And we said, create an ebook, create a mini course. We'll sell it on our site. Well, yes, we'll take a cut because we're putting it through our store and running it through our system and running it through our paywall and handling all the technology. So you don't have to figure that shit out. But honey, make some money off the stuff that you're already sharing. And then you take a look at, wow, I created this one thing one time, and every day somebody can come by and buy that. And then there's free money showing up in my account because of it. It really shifts your perspective on where you're spending your time. So if you're too exhausted because of the time you have to spend in your survival job, it's time to start analyzing where else you're making money faster or with less exhaustion, and lean into that. Lean into those things and stop feeding the things that are exhausting you. Okay? Cool. Good. Oh my God, I love you guys are having so many great conversations in the comments. I will come back around on the replay and comment to anything that I'm missing in all of this. Oh, feels like we did a lot. Ew. Any questions for me, you beautiful people? I love seeing how many are sticking around for all this beautiful goodness. Y'all rock. Oh my gosh, look at all the support. You guys are going to be doing these things together. How very cool. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, do this together. Do this work together. The name of the book by Denise is Chillpreneur. Comes out, it will be in my hands tomorrow, which I'm so glad because on Wednesday we're leaving for the Hacienda. And so I will have it with me to read. But Denise Duffield Thomas, Becky, also has a book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch that I highly recommend. If you're not going to be there for about another week, but I think on day 8 or 9, I think day 9, Becky, you'll be in Getting Gear for the Next Tier. There's a YouTube video where I interviewed Denise, and I was teaching her how to use Blab. Rest in peace, Blab is dead. But there was a new interface at the time, and I was teaching her how to use Blab, and of course talking about money mindset and artists and all that goodness. Okay, can't see the comments. I'm on a Mac, but maybe that's why I wanted to mention that since you said you're trying a third-party company. Okay, thanks, Samantha. I can tell y'all can see one another's comments in general because I'm seeing replies going to one another, which is great. Oh, hang on. I just now see a button that I hadn't seen before. Hang on. I think embracing the financial struggle really does make an incredible resource to think smarter, not harder. It's a skill that people who've always had money never get to learn. It's true, Michaela. It's true. It's one of my favorite things about the stuff that feels scrappy is it just makes me a better business person. If I grew up in a place of privilege, I would possibly never learn how to be resourceful. And I don't need to keep learning that lesson over and over again. I got it. But I really love the lessons that coming up the way I've come up have given me. I'm going to hit this button that says add to broadcast. Are you kidding me? Can y'all see that? Have I been able to do this the whole time? Y'all, I just learned something about technology. I'm so excited. Oh, thanks, Latrice, for sharing that link. Now, how do I unadd that? Do I have to add something different in order for this to go away? Can y'all see this, or am I only seeing it? You can see it. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. Because I knew I could do like this is my, oh no, I don't want you to do that. No. Oh shoot. Where's my fire? Hang on. I think I have the ability to add fire. Oh, I see where I can get rid of it. Look, I have fire. I have fire. I'm always very, very, very proud of my fire. Maybe push the button again. Yeah, Stephanie, I think I found where I can get rid of it. I'm so proud of myself. New technology and I learn things. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Yes, look at all the smiley faces. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. Y'all, you have no idea. I'm so happy about my technology right now. I know, I'm geeking out. I didn't know if I could do that, and I can. All right, and now I figured out how to, oh my God. Y'all, it doesn't take much to fill me with so much joy and glee. Ah, amazing. Oh gosh, the comments are going super fast now. Vanita saying, I can make a decent amount of money in my day job, but then I'd have to spend more time on that and less on acting. Selfish to make money in some other way since I already have the education / training to make it in this way, and being high maintenance to come in through my creative work instead. Girl, oh, you got to change that dialogue of it being high maintenance to believe you can have it all. So let's play with that. It's one of the, oh, Heather, that one's pretty. I like that. I like that. Look at the monies. Look at the monies. Oh, this is so much fun. I'm like totally having a blast playing with all, okay. Now I'm getting distracted by all the toys. But I want you to Vanita and anyone who's working on the issue of it feels unfair for me to ask for more or have more flexibility when I already have this degree that helps me make all this money doing my job as a lawyer in your case. Think of what you're telling the universe with that. You're saying, I have to choose. And the truth of it is, you can have it all. You can choose to work 1 day less per week in your jobby job as an attorney and dedicate that day to your acting career, or create more flexibility, have more work from home days. Like, there are all sorts of ways to negotiate the timing for what it is that you do in your high paying, big brain job. And that means you're a smart business person, that you have created a world in which you can start to let your art support you the way being an attorney always has. But there's got to be that moment where you start letting your creative life support you, or else you're always telling it, I'm treating you like the stepkid. And thank God for my attorney career, because it's all that is keeping us going. And you're putting a whole lot into that one and not enough into your art. And at some point, your art is going to feel like, well, you don't feed me enough. I don't actually ever need to take on a life of my own. Oh, good, Michael. I have not read that. The Broke and the Beautiful Life. The Broke and the Beautiful Life is another great book. Who's it by? Who's the author on that one? Thank you, Michael. Good. I'm so glad you love it, Liza. That's phenomenal. Yeah, Ken John's a perfect example, Rosalie. He's a doctor. Yeah, we can have it all. But if you've got a belief that I can't have it all, or that there's something wrong with me if I have it all, and again, this comes back to, at the very beginning of the broadcast, someone coming at me and telling me to stop bragging when I'm simply stating the facts of what it has been like in my life as an employee of anyone, always getting very quickly promoted until I could take over the company. We get really hinky about the audacity of success. Michael is sharing the author name. Okay, this is the author name for the book, the author's name for the book, The Broke and the Beautiful Life. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Yeah, why limit, Rosalie? Why limit? Why on earth would we limit what we're capable of just because it makes other people uncomfortable? Because, see, I made someone uncomfortable enough to come at me in the comments on my broadcast where I'm giving y'all a free training on money mindset. What is wrong with your shit that you got to come at me? Like, think about that. That is the very real issue with choosing to believe we can have it all. That audacity of believing we can have it all, it's real fear-inducing, because we know we become a bigger target the more successful we are. And God forbid we talk about our success. If we talk about our success in a way that makes people feel we're not uncomfortable talking about it, it makes them uncomfortable for whatever stuff they're carrying around. And it makes us less likely to be comfortable in our own success. So look at the story that's telling the universe about what we want to attract. Don't play small just because it's going to mean you're a bigger target. Like being successful makes you a bigger target. It's true. Being successful makes you a bigger target. 100% true. Yes, we are broadening brand Bonnie Gillespie this year in a way that challenges me every day. And I feel myself getting nervous and getting twitchy and checking out the negative comments that people who are in the space I'm trying to enter get. And I feel myself going, oh God, if someone came at me that way, because you can't come at me about show business. You can't come at me about acting. If you come at me and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the business of acting, I'm like, okay, that's adorable. Like, honestly, you cannot ruffle my enoughness when it comes to this, because I got this. But this new health and wellness space that I'm entering, woo! You could ruffle my enoughness very easily because I don't have decades of success behind it. So every day I'm having to do the work on rewiring. It's safe to be successful. It's safe to be successful. It's safe to be successful. And it's safe to have it all. It's safe to have it all. And it's safe to talk about how you have it all. Totally safe. Totally safe. And if that got anybody going twitchy like it did me, that's the stuff that's got to get worked on first, because you won't attract the kind of money that makes you feel safe, or you won't attract it and be able to hold on to it until you settle down that stuff. And so a lot of the work that I'm doing and my team is doing right now is really helping me get okay with a new level of enoughness in a new area, so that I don't create an upper limit problem right as I'm about to step out on a broader stage. Yep, it's never not going to be that way, Rosalie. That is correct. Oh, thank you, Justine. Yes, on the enoughness, right? Enoughness is an inside job, but it can be eroded by outside forces. When outside things come at our enoughness, we can find it confronting. It can trigger doubts. But fortifying that enoughness is an inside job. It is safe to be successful. Fucking love it. What a great mantra, right? I was listening, my mom was an astrologer, and I recently came across the readings that she did for me when I was a kid, and I was replaying one of them, and in it, she said the phrase, "You don't have to be sick to be successful." And I was like, whoa! Here I was, a kid, and she was looking at my chart and saying, you do not have to be sick to be successful. And those of you who know me know that 2018 was one big shit sandwich of a mind-body healing journey. Hospitalization, all of it. You don't have to be sick to be successful. Like there was some kind of balance in my brain, in my chart, in my worldview, that if I'm successful, I gotta prove, like if I am at my ideal weight and fitness level, if I'm sober, if I'm in a loving, healthy relationship, if I have a business that is thriving and money in the bank and I feel protected and cared for and thriving, there better be some shit to balance that out. So I better get sick. I better go into the hospital. I better have some kind of trauma that I got to deal with to even it out. So I had to work on that. And it's a constant bit of work. I got to clean up that it's safe to be successful. I know, right, Kathy? Ooh, I like that one. Don't ruffle my enoughness. That's good. Good. Cool. Awesome. Thank you guys. I'm so glad this has been fun for y'all. Do you have questions for me before we close off? while you're typing in questions, if you are. If you don't have them, we'll be done. But if while you're typing in your questions, you are not already getting bond blasts, please rectify that or remedy that. Fix it right now. You can come over to smfa4.com. Oh my God, how cute. I can actually... what the heck? Can you see that? smfa4.com. Ba-ba. Come on over there. Sign up for bond blasts. I have a new email going out probably 12 hours from now, maybe less, 10 hours from now, where we will continue to wrap up this little conversation about money mindset. But also, you should note that my podcast, The Work, is back for season 10. And its first episode of season 10 went up at iTunes, and it's going through the process at Spotify. Spotify has now started featuring podcasts as well. So we don't yet have our official Spotify identity, but it's coming. So keep on keeping on and checking that out because if you're a Spotify person, I want you to be able to get my podcast there as well. So this is fun. Thank you, Erin, for putting that in there. Oh my gosh. I am so happy that my technology also gave me a breakthrough while we're having this time together. Yes, Kathy, season 10 of The Work. The podcast is called The Work. If you go to bonniegillespie.com/podcast, it will take you directly to iTunes. But we also keep versions of the podcast on my blog, so you can download the MP3s and keep them and hold them and kiss them and love them forever. Whatever you're into. I'm not a podcast person, so I don't really know how that works, but there you go. Do you have suggestions, Becky? Do you have suggestions on not feeding your full-time job if that is your current situation? So, Becky, there's a certain amount of feeding it you need to do in order to let it keep the bills paid, right? And then beyond that, don't feed more. So I would get real clear, Becky, on what amount of energy needs to go into the jobby job in order to keep the lights on and keep the bills paid and keep you going in your creative pursuits. And don't give it any more energy than that. And what that means is if you get off your shift and come home and there's all this in your brain because of gossip at the workplace or she said this and he did that and blah, 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 that's taking up space in your brain, that's too much room to give it. You're feeding it. You're feeding it with those thoughts. You're feeding it with all of that shit being on loop. And it's got to feel like it's just that thing that I do to finance my creative career. No different than student loan debt or credit card debt or anything else. Your current job is just an early investor in the startup business. It's totally safe to have it all. Kathy, but I refer to that as the audacity of having it all. Because it is the audacity of having it all that people want to come at. Like, how dare you have it all? But we gotta trust that it's safe. Gotta trust that it's safe. Stephanie, absolutely my pleasure. It's safe to be successful. Samantha, it's important. Honey, that's why we do the mindset work. That's why we do the mindset work from day one of anything you do with me. So Vanita, yes, there will be, I haven't actually said this anywhere, so you're getting a scoop. There will be a Getting Gear for the Next Tier live in 2019. That is true. Make sure you stay on the mailing list so you do not miss out, because when we close registration for the live program, you cannot get into our 100-day membership while we're on live. Because while we're on live, our entire focus as a business is on the people who are enrolled in the live program. And so that means daily support in the comments, calls every 10 days. We do phone calls on day 10. Shh, Benita! You're one of like 4 people that actually looks at the events page of my website. No, seriously, nobody checks the events page at my website, so I put that stuff there for our own planning. I'm so glad. Oh, Benita, that makes me so happy. And I bet that's totally on brand for you to like go out, scope it out, put it on the calendar. So yes, you want to pay attention to the entire month of May when we will be enrolling, getting gear for the next tier live for summer school 2019. I love it. Benita, that makes me so happy. I love that you're a planner. You got your shit together. You are on it. You're like, nope, I got it blocked out. I already know the calls when they are. I love it. Go girl. That's amazing. Awesome. Awesome. It is. It's safe to be successful. It's safe to be successful. It's safe to be successful. Take a moment, everybody. Let's take a deep breath. Let's end on kind of the way I do like some of my mastermind stuff and expansive capacity, which is put your hand on your chest. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. Put another hand on your belly, your gut. Again, if you're driving, don't do this part of things, because I know there are people who actually start watching these broadcasts on mobile and take me with them into their driving situation. Thank you, Erin, for posting that link. Let me put that on the picture here while we're talking, while we're going through just a little visualization. I love doing this. Close your eyes, take a breath. Always make that exhale twice as long as the inhale. It calms down the amygdala. Let you know that you're safe, you're present. One more time. And if that resonated with you, say, it's safe to be successful. Yes, I am embracing the audacity of having it all. That's mine. All right. Say it louder for the people in the back, says Shalimar. Awesome. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, blink your eyes open if you had them closed. And thank you for joining me on today's Facebook Live. I love you, beautiful people. This is fun. We'll do some more. Check the calendar. Now that you know where to go and do it, we always announce them there. And of course, if you are watching on replay, come on over to Facebook and join us in the comments for anything that you would like to chat about as this continues forward. Make sure you sign up for all the goodies at BonnieGillespie.com. Till next time, stay ninja! Mwah! You can have it all. Yes, you can.